Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Motivational Rant. I am one of your hosts, Dino the Genetic Marvel, and with me, as always, my co-host is Crystal Morency. Good morning, Crystal. How are you?
I'm good, Dino. How are you this morning?
I feel like shit. I'll be honest with you.
No, do you have the COVID?
No, the Rona hasn't gotten me yet. I'm pretty lucky that way. No, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I couldn't sleep. This is the thing. I like watching wonky shit. Like, I like watching conspiracy theories, stuff like that. And people send it to me, and I love it. Please never stop. But I watched something that did not sit very well with me, so I proceeded to stay up until around 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
And then got to sleep after that, so that was nice.
And we're actually doing this in the morning.
Yeah, it's actually like 9 o'clock in the morning, so... Yeah. So fun times. I had a great night. Yeah. It was, that's the thing is, not everything bothers me, but certain things just like, you know, when you get like that wave of goosebumps that goes over your entire body when you hear something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had about 20 minutes of that shit because of the video I watched. And the problem is that I'm crazy, so that I can't stop watching it. I'm like, I need to hear the end. It didn't work. It didn't help anything. They're like, and it's an ongoing problem, so you're fucked. And it's like, nice.
Yep, I watched. Is it one of the ones that you sent me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a new one I found last night.
I watched the ones that you sent me, and I'm like, they're good. But like, but I had one of those nights though too, where like life just was like, go to you.
Well, this is the
but
thing.
But today we're in a happier day because
we're having a happy day.
I counted out the days, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to air on a Friday, so a week today. So I think I try to count the videos, and I think this might air on a Friday. So
I'm not sure. I'm not 100%
either Thursday
sure.
or Friday, but anyways, we're going to say it's Friday.
Sure.
I like my time machine. Fuck off. And to my giggle, that person, well, you know what? I get it because I have listened to my videos, and you really need to want to fuck me in order to be able to tolerate my giggle.
You know what?
I think that's what it is.
That's okay. That's fair. It's not unreasonable.
Except for Dino. Dino's married. He doesn't.
I'm a married man. I don't qualify for those.
No, Dino only tolerates it because I make him laugh as well. So. And one day I'm gonna make him cry because I watched a video where I tell him that I want to make him cry, and now I'm like, yes, I definitely want to make him cry because I want to see his horrible cry. And I know my voice is very annoying as well. And, but too bad. Suck it up, folks.
Nobody said your voice was annoying. The only point out was your cackle, and that's a full blown.
Yeah, and it was by somebody. Who I creeped their thing, and you couldn't creep their thing because they don't actually have an account.
Yeah,
and they have no subscribers, and they have zero content. So to that person, he wants to fuck me, or he already has, and I ditched him.
What the fuck?
I never called him back.
So this is getting off to a weird start, people. This is definitely getting off to a weird start.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, I wanted to explain my pink ladies jacket. Do you like it?
I love your pink lady jacket. May I ask its significance?
Pink lady jacket. Its significance is because I'm actually wearing like a tube top, like one piece thing, and I didn't want to look naked on camera. So I was like, and this is what I grabbed first.
Yeah,
I was like, well, this looks fun. And it's silky, so I want to touch myself.
The best part about that is I was like, hey, nice jacket before we started. And she's like, oh, don't worry. There's a reason for it. I'll tell you while we're filming. And I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, I just didn't want to look naked. I'm like, that's not a fucking reason. What the hell? That's just, it looks good.
Get my tan lines.
I agree. It does look good. Oh, you entertain me. I have fun with talking with you. So
So how are you doing, Dino?
No, I'm fine.
Other than your bad sleeps and everything.
No, it's the bad. So there's two things actually. I wasn't going to mention the other one, but I'll mention it anyway because I'm
Let's do it.
a sadist here. No, so the last few days I've had clean sweep poops. A clean sweep poop. So people who don't know is when you poop. Sometimes hard, sometimes not. But when you wipe, it's a clean wipe. Okay? These are fat guy heaven poops. Okay? Because I'll tell you, I'll be like, listen, I do a bit about it. I say, listen, with a pot of coffee and a few tacos, I will turn this place into a hazmat situation. And that is a fact, okay? I can do that shit. But the clean sweep, I'm telling you, it makes you feel good. You don't have to worry about farting for the rest of the day. You don't feel like you're leaking. These are nice things that normal people don't feel. Fat guys do feel, and it's horrible. And we do our best to take care of shit, okay? Literally and figuratively.
Normal people feel it. Normal people
I know.
Feel
Well,
it.
I like to think I'm
I just
special.
pooped in the woods all weekend. Remember last weekend? We could go today.
I'll be honest with you. So that is not a good arrangement.
Clean sweeping in the bush, so it was lucky. It was lucky.
Which is great. Listen, and that's why it's I for a couple days it lasted, and I felt so good about it. It just made me happy. And then last night, while I couldn't sleep, I farted, and it stunk so bad. I was like, "Oh, clean sweep's done." I'm like, "I'm gonna have to shit after this, and it's gonna be horrible." And sure enough, I was able to hold out until I woke up, and then I shit, and it was like a Jackson Pollock. It was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
Did you Dutch oven Victoria?
No, I have tried. Okay, we've been together for, I think, about 13 years. We just had our 5th marriage anniversary. Mm-hmm. I have tried to Dutch oven her multiple times, and she has consistently thrown it back at me. Consistently. Okay? The only win I've ever had is when we both have the covers up, and I just start laying them out, and then I just have to wait. If I try and move the covers, because the thing is, a Dutch oven, there's 2 different ways you could do it. Is number 1 is you can throw the covers over their head so they're stuck into the mix, okay? Now, this is traumatic on many levels. It's like you're being abducted and also forced to smell horrible things. But the other way, and the more subtle technique, is to just reach in front of their face and lift the blanket up. So all the air tries to exit like a chimney right into their face. Okay? That, my friends, but you need to be a cat burglar with that. And me, I have giant sausage fingers. They don't work for that. So I'll reach over and she'll be like, boom, hold it down and lift up my side. I'm like, no! Because I'll be honest with you, I'll put up with my own stink, but even sometimes I'm like, why? Because it'd be 6 farts put together. I've compacted this under the blankets to be a force of nature. And then she throws it back at me. It's like one of those people who you throw a grenade and they're like, right back at you. You're like, thanks a lot, asshole. Yeah. But yeah, so other than that, I feel great. I'm going to have a really long nap this afternoon. Well, see, I don't like talking about shit, but I do like talking about poop. You know what I mean? People talking about their shits, you're like, listen, I don't need to know that. That's disgusting, right? But talking about poop in general, I think is important, especially when you get to a certain age. It's just like your prostate. It's like, listen, people don't always want to finger up their butthole, but at some point you have to do it because it's better for your health. That's it. Not randomly, I mean by a doctor. A doctor putting his finger up your butthole to check your prostate. No, it's important.
A lot more people than you would think like it. Not me. Neither. I mean...
I was just going to say, I'm not saying I don't like a finger in the asshole. I just don't want a thumb.
I'm not saying, yeah. I'm not saying I'm like, wait a sec. Okay, let's not go there. Anyways, so
I've been working.
Fabio, I've got Fabio on my thing. Like that.
Why
I can't believe it's
Fabio
not butter.
on your screen? It's so weird.
I don't even believe it's not butter. Oh, but you have your fancy Star Douche coffee.
It's not a Star Douche coffee.
It's for his plumpness. I'd like to introduce Dino.
His Royal Highness, the plumpness has arrived.
See, it's really bad. Dino, do you take notes at all for these podcasts? 'Cause I
no,
don't
but
do shit.
I am not. I don't. But I'm gonna have to start.
I think I should, because I'm like, there's so many things that I think of during the day that I want to say to you, and I'm like, oh, save it. Don't text it to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. No, I
I'm
feel the
like-
same way.
and-
It's.
And
Go
then
ahead.
I go to write it. I don't write anything down when I'm
Yeah.
going to do this. I write lots of other shit down, but nothing when I'm going to do about our podcast. So
Yeah.
I just kind of. Oh, and I got to shout out to Brendan Henderson, because I use his raw dog quote as like a life motto now. I'm like, I am raw dogging the shit out of life, and it sucks. I'm like, I don't know if it's his quote, but I'm like, I need to start like drinking a lot more, or like,
No.
I need to do a harder
No.
drug again.
No.
Or I need to something.
No.
Because I'm kidding.
No, you don't have to do any of those. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? Cocksucker?
I'm joking. I'm like, I don't know, because this whole raw dogging, as he puts it, life, it sucks.
Yes. Okay. You know what? How about that? Let's talk about that today. Let's talk about how shit life
Yeah.
is and why it's
And
still
raw
okay.
dogging, it sucks. Like, I mean,
so
life is beautiful.
raw
and it can
dog-
be
okay,
beautiful.
this is-
but
see,
if
this
you
is what
live
happens.
by yourself.
This is what happens when people use terms that they kind of understand, but the context really is important and how it's delivered actually. So let's put it this way. If you go into a party and say, yeah, man, I've been raw dogging life, that's not going to be received very well. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. Especially if you look like me, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear me about raw
me.
dogging anything. Okay? And if they
Me
do,
either.
it's not good. It's not a good thing.
People look
That is-
at me and they're like, ugh. And I'm like, no, honestly, I'm probably the cleanest person on earth. Like, because I get grossed out by cootie. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like,
Well, this
even
is-
when I was using hard drugs, I'm like, well,
Listen, and that's
you got
that's
some
the
saran
thing.
wrap?
What the fuck? Oh, Crystal.
But I was like the drug
What the
addict that went
hell?
to NA meetings every single day. So
Yeah.
it was fucked
No,
up.
you know what? This
I
is
never-
this is the thing is, and what I've found out is that two things specifically, and especially I've actually really been able to do more research while we've been in quarantine and had nothing to do. You masturbate 17 times in a day. You're like, that's enough. I need to read something or something, right? That's. Anyways,
I'm listening.
I can't hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay. So, one of the things I find is that there's number one, we only do research up until we find what we wanted to know. We don't exhaust the topic. Just in general, I think it's people. Because we don't go that extra mile. It's kind of like the whole anti-vax thing. It's like, yes, if you look up that vaccines cause autism, you'll find something, boom, right away. But you'll only find one thing. But that's what people are looking for. They're like, see, I'm proven right. And you're like, but you're not looking at the ridiculous amount of information that's after that, right? That says, no, that's bullshit. And the fact that that person was actually discredited. And realistically, what you're doing is you're going to the doctor of Jenny McCarthy. What the fuck? Okay? Like, that doesn't make sense at all.
That's like when I had the pot shop and people used to come in and be like, will this cure my blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you just walked into a native reserve, into a gas station pot shop. Like there's a gas station.
And you're looking for a cure of what?
Yeah, you want me to tell you whether or not this weed is going to change your life. Like, and I'm covered in tattoos. I'm like skinny. Clearly, I have made some bad life choices. Like, I'm the only white girl on the native reserve. Like,
And that's my other thing is that I think as a people, we chase those highs. Like that great night we had in high school or college.
Oh, totally.
That great job we had, that group of people we worked with, that party we went to. all those things, like, it ends up being a chase. And I honestly think that has something to do, like, I don't know. I'm not an expert. Like we've said, we're just talking shit and doing stuff, right? But I really think that that's where people, because, like, there are certain drugs I have never tried. You never know what'll happen. I'm very much,
Don't.
I think it, well done. I'm very much of the opinion, like, I think it was Jim Jeffries, who actually said it, where it's like, yeah, no, if I'm in a retirement home and all my friends are dead, I'm going to do heroin. I'm going to use a needle. And you know what? I'm going to rock out with my cock out, and I don't give a shit. Because at that point, I've won. Like, I've always said, like, my biggest concern is that I'm going to outlive everyone. Because I'm a ticking time bomb. So I'm like, oh no, if everyone's gone, I'm just going to have fun with it. I don't give a shit. Right?
See, I have to say, though, on that, and I forgot, I was actually really listening to you, and I kind of forgot what I was going to say. That doesn't always happen.
I should be like, I haven't tried many drugs, and you're like, don't do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, no, because personally, I didn't try drugs and everything because I wanted to try drugs. That was never it. It was more of that was in the life, and that was just how it kind of went down. Like, it was never, ooh, I want to try this. You know what I mean? And I didn't do anything until after I was 30 years old. Like, so it wasn't even, like, I was 30 years old by the time I became a drug addict. Like, so it wasn't, some young, dumb, and fun thing. It was just to do it type thing. And then, like I said, I went to NA meetings every day and stuff like that. When I think the people that honestly get into the drug habits, 99% of the time, there's something else going on. And drug habits are a lot easier to kick than alcohol habits, and alcohol or gambling habits, and all the rest of the habits that kill people and ruin people's lives that people don't talk about. Because alcohol fucking sucks, and and I hate going to AA meetings because they think that in drug addicts, once you recover from doing drugs, guess what? You're done. You don't necessarily, like, if you really are a recovery, like, you're not always a drug addict forever. But yet people that drink, they'll drink their faces off every day and they think that they're fine, but yet they can't sign paperwork because they're shaky.
No, and you're
sorry, that was a personal.
No, you're absolutely right. See, that's the whole thing, is that when you go into it, nobody's like, you know what I'm going to take up? Hard drugs, because I think that's the next level. I'm looking for. Nobody says that, right? Like, it just happens.
And nobody's like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot up today. I think it might be a cool thing to do.
Exactly. And that's the thing is there's a level of desperation that I think we're feeling, and it's really become exposed during this quarantine time. Like, I've said it a few times, and I posted about it too, was that, like, people were so worried about, people are one paycheck away from not being able to pay their bills. They're one paycheck from falling behind. And I said, it's not about that, because money is everywhere, okay? Like, I think it was Dave Chappelle who's like, you don't see a crackhead worrying about money. He'll find money to get his fix. So there's money. Yeah. Money is everywhere, okay? and I'm not saying that you should beg, borrow, and steal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there are resources that make things available. What I'm saying is this, that we as a society are so malnourished on a psychological level that we turned around, and within 3 weeks of being quarantined, which you fuckers know you didn't stay at home the first 3 weeks, you were like, oh, what's the big deal? It's fine. Nobody's got some bullshit. Well, it's just bullshit. Okay? Yeah. So from there, those first 3 weeks, people lost their fucking mind, okay? People buying 32 boxes of toilet paper. You're going, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? None of this makes any sense. We were literally a bad cold away from losing our fucking minds.
Oh my God.
So you know what?
Always,
it's not money.
People don't know how to be resourceful. People don't know how to be resourceful.
Crystal,
and you have to expect the unexpected.
True.
Life's all about the unexpected, because you never know, tomorrow can be completely different for us.
Absolutely.
We have no idea. Tomorrow there can be, and then what are you going to do? You have to think, okay, fine, this happened, now what?
Mm-hmm. See,
what's my next step?
What I'm thinking is that's just a good process to have in your life where you're like, hey, expect the unexpected, be prepared. Those are good mottos in general. I'm saying this is significantly worse. This is where we have no idea what the fuck is happening. We don't know who we can trust. You can't, like, think about it. Growing up,
That's life.
our parents,
That's life.
but it's not. Like, I'm saying we're being abused mentally and we don't even realize, because this is my theory, is at the end of the business day, okay, back, and I'm going to say when you and I were children, okay,
Yep.
people would come home from work, whatever time it was, would turn on the news. Okay, there's a reason that there's a 6 o'clock news and then there's 11 o'clock news. It's for people who are finishing their shifts. That's what it's for, okay? If you guys didn't know that, seriously, read a fucking book, okay? But the whole idea was
They weren't born after 1990.
Anyways, those aren't even people at this point, okay? So, I'm just saying is that at that point, you have a bunch of people who had their trusted news resource. They trusted what that person was going to tell them was going to be the truth. They were going to give them accurate information to reveal what was happening that they couldn't afford to go out and find it themselves. But now what we're talking about is, and I watch CP24 almost every day in the morning, just for 5 to 10 minutes, just to see if there's anything new. And I'll be honest with you, I try and drown out the people talking, because as much as I find them entertaining, not fucking news. That simple.
Yep.
It's not. Listen, the one guy and girl this morning were talking about how she used to work at the Bay and spray perfume, and she's like, "No, I help people with watches." So he's like, "Oh, whatever." And you're going, "What the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. You both are retarded." Because at the bottom of the screen, they were talking about how the biggest numbers for COVID are happening in Brazil, the U.S., Russia, India, and I think one other country. And I was like, it's funny that I've seen articles saying that there's a resurgence in Beijing, but China's saying, no, we have no new sources. No new cases of COVID. Any new COVID cases are coming in from outside. And you're going, okay, we all know you're full of poo. Okay, sorry, I'm talking a lot, aren't I? I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's good. I like it.
But it's like,
you
listen.
know me, I talk all the time.
But it's like, look, we all know that China is lying. There's no question about it. We can't prove it, but we know. But nobody's acknowledging it because we have this culture of back alley deals where it's like, oh, well, if you talk about that, we're not going to let you do this. And I know people actively who are deleting their social media history because of their concerns. Like, I'm not sure if you know this, Crystal, is that in Hong Kong, there are some new laws that have been passed that essentially allow the government to persecute anyone who says something against the government. Okay? Now, Hong Kong used to be a separate area, and it was allowed to be autonomous. Now, they were folded back into China's control, but China said, no, we'll leave you autonomous. And everyone was shitting their pants. Okay, this was 1997. Now, after that, it's slowly been, they're under attack. So they would have a puppet government put in place by China. Suddenly, votes weren't disappearing. And, oh, now there's this person who's going to be in charge. And they would just go, well, whatever China says is A-okay for me. And everyone's going, whoa. Yeah. No, we're not okay with that. So now, people are actively, like the law changed and boom, people were arrested in Hong Kong, right? And so you're going, okay, now you have a government that is controlling everything, including what you're allowed to have said. Not even what you're saying, what you have said in the past, boom, they're going to get you. And it's the same thing that we're seeing here, but we're seeing it as a media attack and, social justice and virtue signaling and all this bullshit. When it's like, other people, trust me, they're getting it a lot worse, and we don't even see what's coming. Apparently, I can't shut the fuck up today.
Why do you think? That's okay. And why do you think Apple's creating all these new everything? They want Apple. Everything's Apple. All these Apple glasses, Apple phones, Apple everything. They're giving the kids that don't have computers apples. Like, it's Apple's that's it. Everything you see on TV, every time somebody, like a celebrity, has a phone and stuff, it's always Apple. Every commercial, it's always an Apple phone. It's always Apple.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this is not something like I'm just conspiracy theory making up. That's a true state. And I don't know why, It's just like, why do all terrorists drive Toyotas? Like, why is all, terrorist vehicles and stuff all Toyotas? Like,
I actually have an answer for that. No,
Okay.
it's actually just a really, really reliable Toyota. So it's a Toyota that was actually made in the 80s and 90s. I know. I don't know why I know this. It was 80s and 90s. It was
I
Nissan.
actually do know too. I just like to throw it out there.
We had one. We had the Nissan version, okay? We had the Nissan version, and my dad used it for work. But there's a Toyota one.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually a lot more burly, and that's why it's used everywhere. Because I'm a fucking nerd, okay? That's why.
Terrorists love it.
Terrorists love it. It's very reliable. How could you not? You can carry around
They're
stuff,
smart
carry it
when
from
it comes
people.
to
It's a
their-
great deal. You know, when you think about it. I really want a truck
If you raid
personally.
a country,
Yeah. You can raid it, pack up your stuff, and leave. It's a great deal. I'd say you can't really question that process. This is why I'm like, I am a wealth of useless knowledge. It's just unbelievable the things I know.
yeah,
It's such a waste of fucking brain.
I like it though. Me
No,
too. But
it's
we only use
entertaining.
7% of our brains. So technically, I'm like, fuck, how dumb are we? And then when
very.
I see us doing stuff like this, I'm like, oh, that's right. That's how dumb we are.
Yeah.
Like, that's how fucking dumb we are. Is that we can't see, like, that shit is just... What? Like, really, people tell you what they think you want to hear. People tell you how, like, that's the way it is. People want to impress you. People want to get your attention. People want people on their side. They want, it's like the Lord of the fucking Flies. Like, you know, like, like, it really is though, right? And it's just like, and I know a lot of you that won't know what that is, and those who don't watch our podcast. Don't watch our podcast.
If you don't, just turn it off. You've had enough internet.
Just turn it off.
Go read a book.
You're too young to watch it. You need to leave the room and let the adults know.
There's a Lord of the Flies movie. Okay, you can even watch that. Trust me, you need to go do that. Because
go do that, and
This
then
is-
you'll be like, "Oh my God, that is the world today." But
yeah.
it's just
Well, that's the thing is you have
but
all
they're
these
better
things.
at it because
No,
they're
it's-
surviving off of fucking nothing.
Yeah. No, I don't. See, this is the problem. I think a lot of people like with Apple was everywhere with all the celebrities, and then Huawei, okay, which is the Chinese telecommunications company, they started doing the same thing, and you're seeing all this stuff everywhere, and you're going, okay, but the problem is, and this is where people are so concerned, is that the technology that China is putting out there is specifically meant for China to be able to access your information. And this is the thing, is that Apple did it for so long, and Apple's still doing it, just so people know. Apple and Samsung, they
And they
are
work with
taking your
China.
information. Well, that's the thing. But the difference is that Apple is in America, their head office where they're holding this information. Samsung is Korean, I think. Yeah, let's say it's Korean. Sure, why not? Yeah, I think it is. It's South
Koreans
Korean.
are better.
We don't really say that races are better than other races in general. We're just
not
going to leave it at
racist.
that.
No.
So what we're saying
Yeah.
is that
No,
whereas
I love
Huawei,
Chinese people too. It's not their people; it's their politicians, just like everywhere else.
also true. So what we're saying though is China. The problem is they have proven themselves completely untrustworthy. And that's the thing is now, especially with what happened with COVID-19, so many people have started with derogatory Asian comments, and you're like, guy, so what people need to understand is like, okay, so China did this, that doesn't mean you should hate Chinese people. Chinese people are in the exact
that's what I
same
just
fucking
said.
boat, if not worse, than what we're going through. Okay.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Exactly what I just said. It's not Chinese people, it's their government.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's just like the Americans, it's just like everywhere else. It's not them, it's their government, it's this like group of people. And it's the people that want to sheep them.
Oh yeah.
Like want to sheep them. And it's like, why do you want to be that person? Why do you think like, and then you criticize everybody else for the way that they think, and it's like, dude, you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't get it. Like, people they don't want to think past what they think they know. And meanwhile, they don't even know. Like, because nobody wants to bother to explore anything. If they're so used to doing something for 40 years, well, it worked for that person for 40 years. Well, how do you know what else? Like, you can't just go off of, oh, well, this person created this, and this person created that, and this person created that, and it's holding up. So, well, guess what? That creation came from somewhere. Everything started from something. Like, because I'm getting a little bit of slack about, like, I do too much for, like, nothing type of thing. And it's like, nothing is for nothing. You have to put in 100% into everything you do. And everything starts from something. You can start from the bottom and work your way up. Yep. And it's like, nothing is for nothing. I brought cupcakes to every shows and stuff to open mics, and it's because I love doing that, and it's part of my bits, and who the fuck else brings cupcakes to their comedy shows?
Not nice people. Not usually. That was the one time I'm like, yeah, I'll eat one of those cupcakes. Yeah, I'll trust her. No problem. I've seen other people like, I brought cupcakes. I'm like, I'm not touching that. I don't trust. No fucking way. Not gonna happen. This is, and you know what? You're absolutely right on that. It's funny. I remember when I used to be a financial planner, and one of the people that I worked with, she was like, how do you give so much effort to things that you think won't work? And I'm like, what? And she goes, well, if I don't think something's going to work, I just give up on it. And I'm like, uh-huh. She goes, so only if I know it's going to work, I'm going to invest my time. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just said to her, I'm like,
how about you don't even think the negative? I don't even think that it's not going to work. I think,
and that's what I would do.
Everything's possible. And
anytime.
Go for it.
well, what I would say is, listen, let's explore our options. And then I would go through,
or
okay,
think
these
of
are
another
options.
way to go through it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
get it done, though.
Well, that's the thing is, listen, it's a bank, right? There are certain rules and regulations that have to be followed. So sometimes it wouldn't work. But I would still give that effort to make things happen.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And the funny thing was, she was baffled by this. She was like, so you try every single time? And I'm like, yeah. Why wouldn't I do that? And she's just like,
the best results come from 100% effort.
Well, and that's why listen, I can't guarantee an outcome. I can hypothesize, I can suspect, I can foretell, I can read it in leaves, I can do all sorts of things. But I can't know what's going to happen. So,
and you don't know unless you put your effort through it.
Well, it's not even that. The only thing I'm in control of is my effort. I don't have control over the result.
Exactly.
So if I control what I do, then I can, and this is one of the big things, is being a financial advisor, in Canada specifically, you have to become what's called a fiduciary, which means you have an inherent responsibility to the well-being and the best decision-making for your client before your employer. So you are in the middle between these two things, right? Your customer and doing what the company tells you, right? So you have to constantly fight that. And it's not an easy thing to do, trust me, because a lot of times, especially in banking, there are a lot of people who aren't aware of big pictures and trends and things like that. They are just salespeople, and they'll be promoted because they can write a test. So they're like, well, I passed the test, so I should get the job. Why? Because they're a good salesperson. But when you ask them a really hard question, they go, I don't know, right? And so they just they toe the party line of the company. Now, this is the problem: is that you have people who are just salespeople and don't think of other people. That's not how you work things, right? Because I can't dictate what the company will do. I can't dictate what markets would do. I can only dictate what I do, and I have to sleep with me at the end of the night. I'm not sleeping with the company at night. I'm not sleeping with my customers at night. If I'm okay with what I've done, listen, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Shit goes wrong. That happens. But the truth is that if I am treating people in a way that I feel that I've done them right, then I can sleep with myself. And that's, I think a lot of people have missed that whole idea. So they're just working on a level that just doesn't make any fucking sense. I really am talking a lot today, aren't I?
That's okay. No, that's 100% though, because I feel like and I'm just having a personal moment, guys. So I totally sorry for my mama, but I definitely
don't apologize to these fucks
all the time, and I try to prove myself, and I guess I do it, and I think I do it for other people, but it never works. You know, like I try to go big or go home, and I have so many ideas, and I have so much stuff like that I create, and and I've always worked really hard my whole life and everything, and it never ever has seemed good enough anyways. And I've always done it on my own, and I've never really gotten that like way to go, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's okay though. And that's not why I do it. I do it because I want to personally grow. Because I'm tired. You got to learn to prove it to yourself. Everybody lives for everybody else. So why don't you live for what you want to do with your life? Because everyone's like, oh, well, I don't have that opportunity. I've never been given an opportunity. I've always taken the opportunities and provided for myself. Like, you know, right about now I'm trying to make lemonade, and there seems to be a hole in every fucking cup that I make some really great lemonade out of these lemons, but there just keeps being holes in the fucking cups. Like, you go to pour it, and then there's holes in the cups. That's pretty much the abbreviation of my life.
So,
Life hands you lemons. I'm making great lemonade, but there's holes in my fucking cups.
So, okay. You know what? So, I'll be honest with you. After we talked yesterday, I suspected that was what was happening. Okay? So, now, it's none of my business. It isn't any of my business.
Yeah.
But it's been pointed out to me recently that I am a collector of broken things. Okay.
And that's why he likes me. And that's why we're partners.
It's you and a few others that I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I do collect broken things. Now, the difference is that
Sorry.
no, it's fine. I'm broken too. Don't think I'm not. My brain works in a way where I need to destroy something before I can perfect it. And in a lot of ways, I honestly think that my happiness in marriage now is directly attributed to the failure of my previous marriage. I really do. Because you learn, when you break things apart, you learn how they work, all the little intricacies. And for me, I need to expose those inner workings before I can really refine it to work as best as it can. Now, that being said, there's a few really important things because, listen, we've all heard I think it was Thomas Edison. Was it Thomas Edison who made the light bulb? Yeah, let's say it is. Who gives a shit? Where he said, he goes,
it is.
People are like, well, you invented the light bulb. He goes, no. He goes, I invented 10,000 ways to not make a light bulb. That's what he did. He's like, right? Failure is very rampant in life. Okay? And trust me,
yes, it is.
if you've ever been a goofy looking guy trying to pick up girls, trust me, that's it. That is where failure starts. Because you're like, hey, and they're like, don't talk to me. And you're like, but what if I do talk to you? You're like, dude, get a hint. And this is, like, I'm starting to pick up more and more on these nonverbal cues. Because women are very, predominantly, they give nonverbal cues. Whereas men they need a bat to the face. That's what they need. So, in the same sense, a lot of the times, people who are older or have a different lot in life will look at you and try and force their advice on you because that advice maybe worked for them. Now, this is the same thing as people say, well, if you're sad, just stop being sad and be happy. That's not how depression works. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, like I suffer from depression. I have for many years. It's not treated properly, but so there are times when I don't want to get out of bed, but I was granted or brought up with a very strong will, and somehow that has helped me to keep going. Okay, I don't know the intricacies of it or the dynamics of it. I have gone to therapy and things like that. I try and become better every day. There's a whole big thing about that. I'm
See,
sure we'll
I
talk
don't
about some.
have depression, which is the craziest fucking thing. Like, I don't have I have the opposite. I'm like,
no.
I have PTSD like a motherfucker, but I don't have depression.
Yeah,
like, I am super positive about life. Like, I'm like, you know what? I know that life gets worse.
You have
At the end of the day, I know that.
You have a rampant infection of feels. That's what it's called, okay? You feel everything. You're an exposed wire, okay? So, what you have to do, and this is, and I'm giving this advice from personal experience. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I found it very helpful in my dealings with certain people. Was that when somebody comes in and says, well, why are you doing that? You should be doing this. And right then, you have two options. Is you can fight or you can work with them. And this is the thing is...
I walk away.
and this is the thing is, I'm not saying what you are doing is right or wrong. It's not a criticism. Yeah. I'm trying to give you another tool for your tool belt. That's all. Yeah. Okay? So what I like to do to people is I will look them dead in the eye, smile, and say, that's a great idea. I'm going to think on that. Thank you for pointing it out. And this is what's happened, is you've acknowledged them, you've elevated them because of their knowledge, that they feel that their knowledge makes them superior. This is a fallacy. It's not true. That's not to say they aren't smarter or are smarter. What it means is that in this scenario, it's not helpful, right? Now, when you say...
And it's like, but they're beneath you, though. And it's like, how dare you? Like, you know, like, it's like, and nobody's beneath anybody. Nobody's beneath anybody. But socially, if they want to go on that boat and try to talk, it's like, well, socially, like, if your society were to be judging, which society judges, society would say, hey, that person's got a lot more going on than you do. Now, might just say that. No. Society might just say that.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true, Crystal. It's not about, and remember, this is the problem, is we've been cornered into a world that judges us on half the information and double the rumor, right? It doesn't make any sense. My God.
Or judges on nothing, no information.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even know you. Cause when,
it's made up.
I don't know how people... I've spent my entire, I've been on my own for 20 years. I've lived on my own for 20 years. I spent my entire time alone. Nobody called, nothing. But yet everybody knows what my life is like.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I'm pretty sure I was alone. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I lived it alone. So I don't know how everybody knows what's going on.
Exactly.
I don't understand. I'm pretty sure I was alone the entire time. So it's like, I don't understand how everybody knows. Nobody even called to say, hey. So I don't understand how,
No, and listen, you can't. And that's the thing is, these are certain times, and on that other side where it's like, you have to try at every shot, you have to be able to recognize and say, oh, I don't need to fight this fight. Because, like you, there were times when I would walk away. And I learned very intensely that just because I don't walk away doesn't mean I have to fight. Right? I can cool this down, and everyone can walk away happy, and it's fine. Yeah. Right? And that's...
I just feel that every time I try to say something, it just ends up being disappointing. Because you say something, and then it just never sinks in, and then so you don't bother. You're just like...
It's not...
I can't... And it's like, I don't want to get more sad. It's like, I just rather leave it, and I know myself... I know my truth, and that's all that matters. And I have to live with the hard, the good, the bad, and the ugly of that truth.
Absolutely. So,
and I know it, so I'm okay with it. I'm moving on, I'm growing,
And trust me, I'm not saying that I'm perfect at this and that I do it every time and I'm something to behold. No. I'm just saying there have been times I've done this and it's helped. Because after all is said and done,
I think it would.
Look, as my dad got older and older, I would tell him stories about high school, and one of them was in grade 8 for our midterm report card, first semester, no, not grade 8, grade 9, my first year in high school. I brought him a report card that had 80% on it. I had never gotten an 80 in anything. I was a C and D student. Until you showed me it was worth my time, I just passed every time. So I was proud. I gave him my 280s. He looked at it and goes, you could do better, without even looking at me. Okay? I proceeded to never get anything good until I went to college. In college, I got straight A's, and my parents were like, we had this whole argument about them not opening my mail because I'm a dick and I think I have a big cock. Okay? So that's the only reason why. Now, in turn, when my report card from college would come, they'd be like, "Oh, I think it's your report card," and my mom would like put it right in front of my dinner plate and be like, "I think you might have some mail. You should probably check your mail. Maybe you want to open your mail because it looks like it might be important. It looks pretty thick. Maybe you should open your mail because you got mail." Right now, I would open it and I would show them because I would be a dick and be like, I'd pretend not to show them, and they're like, "Ma," but I would show them. And they're like, "Oh, you got straight A's," and I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, and my dad's looking at me. I'm like, "I'm not stupid. I'm just lazy." And he was like, "Oh, I can respect that. That's fine." I'm like, "No, high school is bullshit," and I honestly believe that high school is bullshit. Now, that all being said, was when I told him, Victoria was actually there when I talked to him about it. And he was like, "Well, why didn't you talk to me?" And I looked him straight in the eye and I go, "Oh, because you were known to somebody that we could talk about things with." And my mom chokes on her food, spits it out, and she starts laughing hysterically. And my dad is like, "All right, maybe you got a point there." And I'm like, "Listen, these things happen." And that's why I try and keep in mind that...
Do you look like your dad?
No, I look like my grandfather on my mom's side. So he was like,
Okay.
he was actually like 7 feet tall. He was a monster of a man. Yeah, he was terrifying. There are some really cool stories that I have about him that are fucking hilarious. Now, but he would ultimately like I always had to keep in mind that people who try and come in and like just grandstand and say, "Oh, this is why all this happens to you." They do have good intentions. They just don't know how to help. So they're trying to give advice that they're like, "Well, it worked for me, so it should work for you." It's kind of like, "Well, I hung a picture with a bolt once, so all pictures should be held with bolts." You're like, "No, that doesn't make any sense either." They're like, "Well, I did it once, so it should work." And you're going, "I'm not saying it won't work. I'm saying there's a better way." So it comes down to like...
There's no better, like, it's just do it the way you want to do it. If it works, great. If that's the way you want to do it, and then just support each other for trying to live our lives. You know, like, we need to...
Well, we can't all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, Crystal, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, fucking yes. We need to play that game. Remember in school when they had that big, colorful tent thing? And
parachute?
then we all lifted up at the same... Yeah, I love that. That game was about coming together, and I loved it.
It was...
You can't make it go up unless everybody does it together. And then you make it go up, and it's so beautiful and wonderful.
Listen, when you're tiny and you go up with the parachute, yeah, I'm sure it's great. When you're the big guy who's got to anchor everything, it's not that fun, okay? It's not that fun. I don't like parachutes, and I don't like playing in a gymnasium. That's what I don't like. I like to be in the wilderness around the ladies.
Oh my God, I gotta go camping again, you know? I was like, I've had 1 week of people, and already I'm like, okay. I'm even almost willing to flirt with that guy that took me out last with my date.
Please don't do that.
No.
You may not make it back after what we've said, okay? I'm just saying.
I know. He hasn't seen it yet. Remember, it's coming. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, tomorrow's episode. Or is it Monday's episode?
No, it's like Tuesday or Wednesday's episode. It's Tuesday's. It's Tuesday's episode.
Did I get back?
Yeah.
Okay, did I get back?
It might be.
So,
actually,
yeah.
you know what? It's Tuesday's episode.
This thing is Mondays.
Monday is
Wednesday?
the last. Monday's the last one we
Oh,
edited.
no, Monday I'm wearing my cool blue sweatshirt. I like that one, I think.
I don't know. I don't remember. But so Monday,
I'm like, I remember
the Monday show we have is the last one that's edited, but we recorded another one. Maybe Wednesday. I think Wednesday is when you start talking about him. So this weekend would be great.
No, I've
but
already mentioned. Well, no, yeah, it will be great. He's great, yay. I want to go alone, you know, because again, purpose of the bush. The whole purpose of it is to get away from people because I'm not good with it. Like,
I know, but it's not safe. It's not. Listen, I'm not saying
it's
you're not
safer than me
safe.
going with somebody that I want to kill or that's possibly going to kill me. Like.
Okay, I can't disagree with that. I'll be honest with you. Okay.
Right?
It's my.
And I'm friendly, so I talk to everybody around me, so people know like that I'm there, where I'm at, and stuff.
I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. I'm telling you, if I ever go camping with you, I'm gonna shoot you.
See?
You're like a butterfly. You're just like, I'm gonna talk to this person, this person. I'm just like, just stop that. That's
I like people to know that I'm there.
See, whereas I like to just be in the shadows and just be like, I feel like, and this I can't.
I want to be like Ginger off a casino. When she walks into the casino, she's got that gold dress on, and everybody knows that she's there. Or Julia Roberts with the red dress, and she looks all beautiful, and like, like,
how about let's look at somebody who isn't a lady of the night? How about that? As a role model in general, someone who's not a lady of the night.
Those have been my role models.
I'm not saying they're bad role models. I'm just saying diversity is an important part of life to make sure.
Okay, Anne Hathaway.
That's definitely. Hey, she's definitely a prostitute. I'm just saying she's definitely a prostitute.
She did play one actually in that movie Hustlers.
No, she definitely is. I'm telling you right now.
Everybody's played a prostitute though. Like everybody good has played a prostitute. Have you thought about that? Just saying.
Meryl Streep. Has Meryl Streep played a prostitute in anything?
Probably.
Or Dame Edna.
I don't really want.
Oh, fuck you. Meryl Streep is beautiful, okay? Actually, it's true. Not many women can pull off gray hair, and she really does very well. Devil Wears Prada. She's beautiful. She really does. Her and Helen Mirren as well. Helen Mirren, you know what? She's got that little wonky, like, friend on the side of her face.
She looks like she'd be a bitch in real life.
Oh, well, she's British. She's British, so for sure she would tear a strip off you, and you would be like, "Thank you. I'm gonna go cry. I don't know what to do."
No, British people love me, cause British people like me. I know I've got a British buddy. Hello.
British people think I'm American immediately.
Really?
So Victoria was born in London, right? So we go back every so often, and
that's cool.
Yeah, we usually, like, I try and do it while we'll go to London and then go to Greece, right?
You look Scottish.
No, I'm too big for Scottish. The funny thing is, in London, they'll be like, "Oh, so where are you from in America?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Canadian." They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "It's the size, right?" They're like, "Totally. You don't look like you could be Canadian. You're too big to be Canadian." I'm like, "I know." The funny thing is, there are big Canadians, but people are just like, "No, you look like you're an American because you're just a huge man." I'm like, "I'll take it. It's accurate. What am I gonna do, right?"
You have to be like, "Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Y'all want some of my fried chicken and briskets and biscuits and some of
What I'm doing here is trying to educate the masses, and when I educate the people, it's not just about how you act, but what you do with your actions." No.
You do play a perfect American. Hey, y'all, I've got something to tell you right now. So, y'all want to come have a look over this way? I do say y'all all the time, but that was just because I watched a whole lot of CMT as a kid.
Yeah, I don't play my American as a Southern belle, so it's a little bit different. It's not really my thing. But so we are just about out of time today. I think this has been a good conversation.
You're an oil tycoon.
I'm an oil. Yeah! You varmints better move out of my way. No, that's horrible. Typical. Anyway, so we're almost done here. Guys, let me think. What can I do for my motivation? Well, we had something funny happen yesterday. Well, yesterday we finished off saying, "Don't be a dick," and literally 2 hours later, a friend of mine posted. It's like, "Hey guys, try not being a dick." And I was like, "Dude, I literally just finished a podcast," said it, and he laughed at it. He's like, "That's fucking hilarious." Now, on that note, there have been people. There's a heat warning in Toronto, which is where we are in general area of Toronto. There are pools that have been opened to relieve people from the heat, and as well, everybody's slowly opening up, and there are concerns about a second wave and all this kind of stuff. So, I think my...
Comedians have gotten COVID. Comedians, healthy young comedians. Brendan Schwab got COVID. A healthy young famous comedian. Like, that's scary.
It's very
that
scary.
Guy works out daily, and I'm like, damn. But my immune system's better because I'm like these people don't have as good immune systems as I have. But I'm just worried about bringing it home to my grandpa.
I don't know what you're doing right now, but I'm telling you, the camera's freezing at all the wrong times. You're like this, trying to do some sort of. You're voguing. I think you
so
did a.
Much.
Anyways, so
I fidget so much because I never know what I'm supposed to do during this. I'm like, I feel like I should be doing something.
I'm playing with a ring measurer. I have a pen. There's some tape that I'll just fiddle with while you're talking because I'm like, I can listen, but I get distracted with my eyes. Anyways, morning motivational. Come on, Crystal, let me motivate people, you dick. Such an a-hole.
I'll motivate people. People, just know that life will get better no matter what. It can always get worse, but guess what? It can amazingly get better. This is everything that you've had hard happen. It's happened and it's done, and it's time to move on. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to stay there forever? We can't. We got to just move on, no matter what life hands us. Just move on from it, grow from it, because that's what it is. Life is about new opportunities and new possibilities. So fucking grab them by the balls.
There are, and you know what, Crystal, on that note, there are many oaths that exist for certain fraternities, secret societies, and things like that. And you would be alarmed to find that the majority of them will have some context of the idea that the ocean or the water of the sea will go back and forth over the course of the day. And a lot of people feel that that alludes to the idea that there are ups and downs in life, but that doesn't mean it's not a great adventure. We're going through a crazy thing that's happening these days, and understand that everyone is freaking out and we don't know what's right. We don't know what's okay. We don't know what is safe and what is unsafe. Take some extra time.
Not to know.
It's true. So what I'm saying is take some extra time. No, take some extra time to give people a little extra distance, a little extra patience, a little extra time, because I'll be honest with you, nothing is more important than our health, our well-being, and us surviving until tomorrow. A lot of us are missing that point, and it's important that we take the time to give that extra consideration to our neighbors and our communities so that we as a whole can move on from this. I think that's it.
Yep. 100%.
And now I'm going to go cry myself to sleep like a fucking loser. No, I don't know. Anyways, guys, that has been Morning Motivational Rant.
I'm going to go to sleep. I'll have you.
Crystal, where can everyone find you?
Everybody can find me at Simply Me on YouTube, Morning Motivational Rant with Dino on Morning Motivational Rant on YouTube, and Crystal Morency on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that crap. Excellent. And Mr. Dino, the plumpness, where can people find you?
His Royal Highness the Plumpness can be found on Dino the Genetic Marvel on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have a fan page. Or Morning Motivational Rant is on YouTube as well. It is available on Instagram. We use just to share some thoughts. But everybody have a good day. And if this ends up being on a Friday, have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. Just remember to try and enjoy things. All right? Bye, guys.
Yes.